I can't even like
Look at us
see
sitting on
myself.
the floor. We actually had chairs and we decided.
We're gonna do this cozy.
Yeah, we're in the cozy moment.
Hi.
Hi.
What are we even? Oh my gosh, we're up to episode 11.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
I hope my breath
God.
doesn't smell. I just ate dinner like 10
So
minutes
not.
ago. Okay,
Oh
good.
my gosh.
Welcome to
And I'm
Full
like
Forward
drinking tea.
Podcast, Season 1, Episode 11. I actually got like nervous for this one because we were just talking about it, and I still feel like nervous about it.
Well, unnervous yourself because
Yeah.
this is our podcast.
I
You know
just
what
feel
I'm
like
saying?
it's the most
Airplane mode.
put it on airplane mode.
Yeah.
I just feel like for me it's the most important topic for my life. So like I just feel like a big responsibility talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we were just saying, like this is my opinion, and this is just how I feel. Like what
And
I'm
I
passionate
really
about.
want to hear what you have to say because I think I need insight in this. So
Right. I don't even know what I'm going to say. Basically, the topic that we want to talk about today is having a relationship with God. How to have a relationship with God. And I came into this topic because lately, especially after writing my books, like a lot of people reached out. But this week, I spoke to a few random people. Like some are super religious, some are totally don't even believe in God, and they're hurting. And they're like, "How are you doing so well?" Because like I went through a period of my life where everything was really hard. They're like, "How are you doing so well?" I'm like, God, my relationship with God. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, what does that even mean to have a relationship with God? And I was trying to explain to them that like God is literally my best friend, not in a egotistical way because I'm better than anybody, because I spend the most time like watering that relationship more than Judah, more than my husband, literally. Um, and these people had no idea how to even have how to start that, how to have that relationship.
I feel like I'm out of the.
So it makes me really sad. It makes me more sad than people suffering. It makes me the most sad because if you don't have a relationship with God, that's probably why you're suffering. He's probably trying to just like get your attention, like come be close to me, and then he'll take care of it. Not like he's not taking care of you, but he is usually trying to send you a message like just come spend time with him and get close to him, and then everything suffering becomes not suffering, it becomes good. You understand it, or even if you don't understand it, you're okay with it. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What's your relationship with God like? Do you have a relationship with
Of
God?
course, I have a relationship, but I always have on and off, like always on and off. I'm not really. It's weird. So a lot of people like it. I think we spoke about this once in our podcast. A lot of people like they look for God when they're going through shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm usually when I'm in my like best place. I'm like, oh my God, thank you for this, or like stuff like that. But the other day you were saying, it wasn't on our podcast. We were talking about something, and you're like, I was saying something, and like God literally answered me, and I was like, holy shit, I need to spend more time with that. Like,
Yeah.
and it sunk in my brain what you said.
Wow. I
Like,
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
we were talking outside, right?
Yeah.
Like, how?
So
How? Like, I'm not saying I don't have a relationship with God. I do. And I literally do. Like, I literally sometimes have like these plain old simple conversations. I'm like, as if he's like right here and he's a human. But I also have days where I'm like so disconnected. And then like, I almost cry sometimes. Like, I wish I was more connected.
it makes me so sad.
Like, it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And if people say it's easy to have a connection with God, they're lying.
It's. I think we make it a lot more complicated than it is. I do think it's easier than we think, but you have to put a ton of effort into it, because you know when the best things in your life you have to put in a lot of work for. So this is better than all of that.
Like, nothing good comes easy.
Exactly. So this is like, and also you're going to be tested like how bad you want that relationship with God. So I just want to say that I always had a relationship with God. My parents are Bali Chuva, so like I was raised with my parents making up songs about how much they love God and talking to him. So like I had that in me. But then I went through a period of my life where we talked about in the podcast where I hated God. I never did believe in him.
I have a question. You said you were raised with your parents and all that stuff. Do you think that was a relationship?
That they had a relationship with God?
No, you.
Relationship with God?
Them teaching you all these songs, was that a relationship with God? Because to me, my thought, it wouldn't. Like, the way I grew up with like God, like, I did not have a relationship with God until I would say
so sad.
I had no relationship into God until I became religious when I was like when I was like 17. Remember that time where I was totally that was like the first time I was like, hey, I have a God who cares about me.
I'll tell you why I think, and I was talking to this about somebody like one of these conversations. The same conversation we had. Remember, our friend was telling us like her parents grew up doubting and she resented it. And I was like, I saw it different because the way they felt about it, I felt that.
Like
So
they let you feel the good
really
part of
meant
it.
They really, literally felt Hashem and talked to Hashem. My father would like sing on Shabbos night, and he would cry from being so close to Hashem. Like, I
Yeah.
felt it. So the feeling of it transferred over to me for sure. But then I got in a huge fight with God. I hated him, and I would yell at him, but I never stopped since I was a kid talking to him. And then my relationship with God didn't become really close until a couple of years ago. Really, like 2 years ago, I started doing Hisbodedus, which means solitude conversation with God. And it's not like having the conversation with God. It means making a set time first thing in the morning. Before I do anything, I literally sit where nobody could hear me and I talk out loud to God. And I started with 5 minutes and I worked my way up to an hour. And people are like, what do you talk to God about for an hour? And I'm like,
You sometimes are just quiet.
no, the time flies because God puts the words in your mouth. And I even ask him, like, put the words in my mouth. I want to be close to you. I want to talk to you. That's how I started it. And in the beginning, I didn't get any answers from him. And then it literally started that not only does he talk back to you, he answers you, literally answers you. The feeling of it is literally like your soul is being hugged by God. I can't even explain what that means. You know, like when
I
somebody
wish
you
I
love
understood
hugs
because
you?
I never, first of all, I won't say I did Hisbodedut, but I do daven with my own words or pray with my own words
Right.
by myself.
But like out loud, you talk to God about what's really on your heart.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah. Not every single day,
No,
no.
so it has to be like
Consistent, like
for
discipline
like a
it.
set time, not at night, because in the morning there's like a certain energy in the air where you're like fresh, you're refreshed, and you just
Your clean soul.
the most important thing is you can't be embarrassed from
Right,
God.
it's so bright, I can't even see the time.
Oh, it's 6 minutes. Okay. You can't be embarrassed from God. Like my friend that I was talking to, she's really suffering. She's super religious and she has no relationship to God. I'm like, why are you even doing anything? And she's like, because it's the right thing to do. I'm like, there's no point in anything if you don't have a relationship with God. Like, do you agree with that?
Of course.
Right.
Of course. Like sometimes people have like a certain thing that they follow because they grew up this way. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, when I think of God, God is not mad at me for doing whatever you think it
100%.
shouldn't do. So you can do you, but I know whatever I'm doing, I'm okay with it. And I know God is okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I have a relationship with him.
Right.
And I have a certain way of how I don't know how to say it. Like look at him. I'm not look at him like
your perspective of
my
him.
perspective
Yeah.
of God is a certain way. Like, oh my God, like there's this song in Hebrew of this girl. I'll explain why she basically what?
I think you played it for me. The one where she's like, you don't care what I wear and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That
song she says in that song, she's like, I never like gave you that attention and somehow you still found a way to love me. Like, I really think God is like that. Like, even if you're ignoring him and when you call out for him, he's like, I'm here. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to do mistakes. It's okay. It's like, I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you.
You're human. You're
like, I'm just helping
you to
like,
be that way.
It's like, literally imagine like if you had a father.
Right.
It's like, Daddy, what do I do now? And it's like, okay, what's going on?
That's who I talk to him. Like,
yeah.
he's my father. But it's more than that because
he's also your best friend and
he literally created you. So like your child inside and out. You know how well he knows us. He knows what we're gonna do before we do. He knows everything about us, and he literally controls everything that happens in the world. So to me, I'm like, the most important thing is to have a relationship with him because anything that happens to me, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving this till the morning I do Hisbodedus. I don't even process it. In Hisbodedus, I process it with Hashem, out loud talking to him. And the comfort and peace of mind that he gives me makes me realize that, like, that's the whole secret to life. Like, that's literally all you need. And then what's crazy is that the whole entire day, he's, like, literally holding my hand, and I'm not joking.
Do you feel that when you have a relationship with God, you feel less guilty with all these things you grew up with?
100%. Because I
like
talked
that's
to him
what
about it.
when I now that I'm like having a relationship with God, a lot of things I learned I used to feel guilty about, and then now I'm like, God doesn't care if your skirt is
No.
this much inches. It's like, look at your
Unless that's
personality.
your thing. Unless when in Esposos, he's
I'm
like,
just
this
saying.
is important for you. So that's why I think Esposos is so important, because you have a relationship with him and you know that's not important for you. But there's going to be another person out there that's going to get this relationship with Hashem. And he's going to be like, you wear that skirt 4 inches below your knee, and that's what they need to do.
Right.
Everybody does.
Right.
It's not like it's totally not.
Like everyone has like,
It's so
yes.
specific. That's why you need a relationship with him. But let me go back to this before we run out of time. Well, we have 2 minutes. How to like practically have a relationship with God is literally go on dates with him, like any relationship, and make it consistent, and don't break up with him, and don't ghost him. A real relationship, know it's the most important relationship of your life. Do it consistently. Imagine your boyfriend or your husband, you didn't talk to him every day. Like, what would that relationship look like?
Right.
First thing in the morning, even if you have 1 minute and you have nothing to say or you're embarrassed, do it and don't stop, and you're going to see what happens. And then when you're doing it enough, you're going to feel so comfortable, you're going to do it for longer and longer and longer, and then he's going to start answering you. And even if he doesn't answer you, don't stop, because eventually you're going to get there. It took somebody 6 months to get there. It took me not that long.
Yeah.
And he talks back to you, and it's the best
Shit,
feeling in the world.
you're giving me so much. I'm like, I'm going now to do it. Love it. Oh my gosh.
I really feel like that is like my mission in life, is really to be how I am, like
to build a relationship, like
but for other people, to show people that you don't need to be from or religious or any kind of way to have a relationship with God. You're supposed to be exactly how you are right now and make your relationship with God, and then he'll tell you what he wants from you. And it's not the same as you or anybody else around you.
Like you have your own relationship with God, like you
really
and him.
Specific. Imagine you wanted all your kids to be the same. Like, what kind of parent would you be?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Right. Oh my gosh, crazy. Love this.
Okay.
What are you up to?
11:34. We're on time.
Wow. Chef. Oh my gosh, first of all, I need to go do right now. Right now.
Mission accomplished.
Oh my gosh,
But don't stop doing it, even if it's just like a few minutes a day.
Did you have in the beginning where you like did and then did not, and then
till
like
this day? But the point is that if you aim for consistency, even if you don't do it, like I never will stop going back to it. Right. And when I don't do it, I feel weak.
Right. Like, I was gonna say, you know, when you have a relationship with someone and you don't talk to them for so long, do you miss it?
Like crazy.
It's so crazy.
The most important thing in my life is that. I love it. Because if I don't have that, it mirrors in all my relationships. My relationship with myself, with my husband, with my friends, it's all different.
I love that.
And it's true. Your relationship with God is mirrored in everyone.
Love this. Okay. But we have to close this up.
Give it a try. Let me know.
We're like sitting here all comfy. I forgot we're on video.
Thanks for watching.